Hey guys, it's Luke from DLM here, and today I have a little bit of a secret. Now, we all know the Zenith is the most powerful weapon in Terraria, and it probably will be forever. But did you know it wasn't the first iteration of Terraria's most powerful sword? So the codename for the Zenith is the Final Fractal, so it makes sense that there was a weapon that came before it, which was the first Fractal, and that is the codename for this weapon here, the First Fractal. That's its name. It never got an official name, but it was removed from Terraria's development sometime before 1.4 came out. But it was meant to be the ultimate sword, or the ultimate sword. But it never was included in the final game because Redigit and the developers of Terraria felt that it wasn't ready. Now, in my opinion, it's really cool, but I can understand why they said what they said. I think the Zenith is just, it's just a little bit cooler. So the way the that's my stance. The way the first Fractal works is wherever you're clicking your cursor, it'll spawn copies of you holding the sword, and they'll fly at it really quickly. They'll also auto aim to any enemies, not to mannequins obviously, but any enemies nearby will be tracked to. So you can see I'm not hitting that close to these pixies, but they will get hit. Now you'll see that when I'm holding it, there's me with my solar wings and the armor that I'm currently wearing. If I take all my armor off, let's do that. You can see that it's actually going to look quite a bit different when I'm using this sword. So let's also take my wings off because the wings are very apparent while the the first Fractal version of me is going. So you can see these look a little bit different, and instead of standing on the wings, I'm now standing on my starboard. So that's kind of how, that is how this works. It's a very cool looking weapon. How about we try fight some bosses with it? I do currently just have the regular one, so it hasn't got any buffs or anything else. But you can see all the stats are almost identical to the Zenith. So the Zenith and this both have 190 damage and 38 critical strike regularly. 24 critical strike regularly. The only difference is the Zenith has a faster base speed of 35, and I think this one has a base speed of 40. But otherwise, they are statistically identical, even though in reality their attack patterns and how they actually deal damage to enemies is a little bit different. But I will grab some boss summons and let's fight some bosses with the first Fractal, because I think, regardless of the fact that it is not the most powerful weapon, it's still goddamn cool. And I kind of wish they left it in as like a little secret, and there was a way to get it, because it's a shame to have such a cool attack animation, but not have it do anything. You can see that there's every single one of my characters kind of holding a different colored sword. We got blue, yellow, purple, red, and it still does look cool. I wouldn't have been mad if this was the final Terraria sword. Maybe if it had a little bit of a faster attack speed, because you can feel this is a little bit less powerful than the Zenith, even without any buffs. Or at base value, this is a little bit less powerful than the Zenith. So with buffs, it's 264, yeah. But I'm gonna get some boss items. I'll be right back. Alrighty, I'm back and I've got them boss summoning items. Let's chuck out a Eye of Cthulhu first against the first Fractal. Here we go. It's bloody over. That's it. Arguably it's a little bit slower than the Zenith, in my opinion. Let's get a Destroyer. Destroyers are always fun because they have such massive hitboxes. Alright, now that one felt much slower than I think a Zenith kill with the Destroyer. Yeah, significantly slower, I guess, because it does. There's, I guess, a much larger hitbox, so this can hit more. But let's try it one more time with the Zenith. It's still pretty brutal. It's still immensely brutal, and I'm not gonna lie, I really like the sprite for this. I like how it still kind of looks like the Terrorblade and the kind of Terraria colors. But let's do one last test against the Moonlord. Alrighty. I will also, if this video gets enough traction, I will try do I guess, first Fractal against all bosses in Terraria. I know a lot of people like watching overpowered weapons be underpowered bosses, and I do like watching them as well. But this weapon was a bit of effort to get working, and I've got some other stuff in the works. So if you guys do want to see, I guess, this verse or bosses, leave a comment. Otherwise, I'm more than happy to make other content while I bloody struggle to fill up time before the Moonlord comes. It is quite a long spawn period, hey? But I don't know. What have you guys been doing? What have you been thinking about Terraria 1.4? I've been ecstatic with how 1.4 has been. I know some people are saying there isn't as much content as 1.3 and definitely 1.2, but I'm glad they beefed up the game instead of making it longer. Anyway, now we can fight. So I'm also glad they buffed some of the bosses, because it was a bit ridiculous how easy some of them were. Alright, we're just gonna stick to like an eye at a time. Alright, now this is definitely slower than yeah, this is far slower than the Zenith would be. The projectiles are slower. I think it has a higher chance of missing, even though they're 2-track. You can see most of these are hitting, even though I'm not ridiculously close. Because there's no like spread hitbox like the Zenith has, which will cover half the screen at a time. It's far slower, and it could have been balanced to be more powerful, but I think the Zenith just gets the edge in terms of like a cooler weapon. But I would not have been disappointed at all if this was the final Terraria weapon. Alrighty, that was the Terraria final Fractal. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see any other content with this weapon, or you want maybe a guide on how to get it working, leave a comment. Hope you guys did enjoy this one, and I'll see you on next time with another Terraria video.